If I'm being honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago. If I'm being 100, and this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
Nah.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back, and then if you shot that shit, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so fucking hard. It was too physical. And guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But, bro, let's not talk about the gamemanship, and let's not talk about the physicality of the game back then. Real shit, because I only think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago.
Straight up.
The locker room was too grown.
Peace and blessings. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. On this episode, we're going to tackle the never-ending wars between the NBA eras as KG has finally stepped up to the plate and defended the 90s based off of Anthony Edwards' words on how Michael Jordan was the only skilled player in that day. Let's let KG double down on his words.
Yeah, man.
Just the hand check. How?
No, bro, it was a different vibration. David Stern did a great job of taking all of the physicality out of the game. You understand? Freedom of movement means freedom of movement. Man, back in the day when you had to get by Paul because Paul was squared up with you and ready to slide, and then he could body you, he could poke, he could use his hands, but I can use my hands.
I can fight through a screen.
Bro, the shit that we saw in the Olympics was similar style play when the guard can ride you damn near over the pick.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to get out of that, and a nigga like Holiday, when he come out and he get over, he there. Right. So if you go to cross him, bro, you don't even, that's what I'm saying, bro.
And just like a typical old head, KG went the route to talk about the physicality and playing tough whenever somebody brings up skill level and the amount of skill that it takes to play today's NBA. But KG does make several good points when he talks about how mature the NBA was as far as the NBA players being more grown and more mature in dealing with the day-to-day basis of being a professional athlete. But this has nothing to do with that. The conversation is about the skill level of players. And Anthony Edwards' words about skilled players were more or less predicated towards the shooting guards of NBA history. And the reason we say this is because a lot of the Zesty Jeffries love to implement Anthony Edwards with Michael Jordan and that era, and they're holding him to standards that they don't hold no other player to. So it's about time Anthony Edwards stood up for himself and let folks know, like, hey, I'm dealing with more skilled guards than Michael Jordan ever had to deal with. So Anthony Edwards' words were basically standing up for his era, because on a night-to-night basis, we can see who Anthony Edwards has to go up against compared to Michael Jordan in his era when we're talking about shooting guards in the league. Michael Jordan's fans are always telling us that Michael Jordan dominated his era, so it's obvious anyone would automatically think nobody in his era was ever that good. And then when you ask a Michael Jordan fan who were the tough shooting guards of Michael Jordan's era, they only mention two: Reggie Miller and Clyde Drexler. They barely themselves can tell you about the skills or the greatness of the players in Michael Jordan's era, other than that Michael Jordan dominated them. So here we place the top shooting guards from the 80s, 90s, and the 2020s based off the most points scored in those eras. And if we look at the 80s, we can clearly see that George Gervin is a baller. World B. Free, we know is a baller. Rolando Blackman, we know is a baller. Sidney Moncrief, so on and so forth. But how come we don't never hear about these guys in their skill level when we're talking about the game of basketball? Guys like Walter Davis are never mentioned when we're talking about the greatest guards of that era. So what we did here is went on ahead and went to go find some of these highlights of some of these great guards during the 80s. So let's take a look at these guards in the 80s and let's see how skilled they really was.
Out it comes to Davis. Davis against Ellis. Davis, the three-pointer. Good! The game is tied! Oh, brother! A beautiful straightaway shot by Davis.
Westfall or for Walter Davis breaking into the lane.
Here is Adams. Time running out. Davis to the jump shot. Tied at 4 seconds. 10. Now he starts. Here's Davis out at 8. Davis going one-on-one now. High arch again. 8 seconds left on the game clock.
Alvin Nat. Nat averaging 20 points a game. Boozy towards it, tried to stop him. Quick release.
Boozy heads up play.
That's two great passes on that fast break.
8 points for the second year man from North Carolina, and here he comes again. Walter Davis is a one-man show.
12 points in the first quarter. He hadn't missed yet. Here's Adams bringing the ball to Davis. Down the middle of the free throw line, in the air, 15-foot jumper. Nice shot.
So that was Walter Davis, one of the best shooting guards of the 80s. Now, it's up to you to determine whether or not you think he was very skilled. Obviously, he can shoot the ball. But let's go to Rolando Blackman. Let's see how Rolando Blackman plays.
Rolando Blackman up court to Harper. Derek Harper into the front court for the Mavericks. Harper dumps to Blackman, foul line. He fires good. 2-2 time. Down the lane. Here is Harper leaning over the dribble out front. Guarded by Paxson. Left corner shot. Blackman. Yep. Blackman with the ball. Head of the key. Pressured by Jordan. Blackman fakes on Jordan. Right of the lane. Fadeaway shot. Good from 18 feet. Rolando Blackman has 6. No. Rebound Oakley. Outlets the ball to Jordan. Michael Jordan on the drive. Into the front court. Takes Harper in deep. Reload jumper. Partially blocked. Rebound Corzine. Dallas up 13 with the ball. And out front is Brad Davis. Right side Blackman guarded by Jordan. Blackman into the lane. Fakes. 8-footer on the way. He hit it. Banks looks to bring it in, into Jordan. Michael wheels in, low left, shoots the shot, blocked inside by Tarpley. Here they come on the drive. Blackman in on Sellers. Flips the shot up and in.
So that's Rolando Blackman, y'all. If you have never seen these guys play before, these are the best shooting guards of the 80s. And we can even see him playing against Michael Jordan in this highlights. But this is not enough because the 80s doesn't give us enough information. Let's go to the 90s.
William. Mitch Richmond. And rebounded by Tolbert. Tolbert was the 6th man at Boston. Nice spin move by Mitch Richmond. He goes glass. 89% from three-point range. 37 for 94 before that one. Here's 14. Quickie to Richmond. Good minutes. Warriors still down by 7. Biggest lead was 11 by the Sixers. For the Warriors 4. Pretty duck under move. 3:50 remaining. Mitch Richmond. Right on. Oh, Anderson going for the gamble. That frees up Richmond.
Let's see if Richmond goes away.
Rod Higgins. Threaded the needle to Richmond. He does it again.
Now, that was highlights of Mitch Richmond. Some of you guys have heard of Mitch Richmond because true NBA fans know about Mitch Richmond. Most Zesty Jeffries don't because obviously Sacramento Kings or Golden State versus Chicago Bulls wasn't something that we saw a lot during the 90s. But obviously we can see Mitch Richmond was a great basketball player. But let's go to a player that Michael Jordan did play against, Jeff Hornacek.
85-82, the Trailblazers have come back. Hornacek strikes it with a big jumper. He and Marley have been fantastic. Phoenix led by 3 after 1 and added a point to their lead in each of the second and third quarters. Hornacek right back. No stopping him tonight. He stopped 30. See, it's the ball.
Hornacek lets it go. Kukoc got there late. And Hornacek connects.
And then Hornacek off the transition, early offense. He squares it up and hits a tough shot over Tony Kukoc to cut it to 3. It's a very difficult shot.
Hornacek with room and with 2.
First 2.
Hornacek will bring it back. Now takes a little lunge and somehow hits it. Man, he's got a wide array of shots and seems to be able to change it in midair if the defense makes him.
So that was Jeff Hornacek there for those who never saw Jeff Hornacek play. As you can see, he was a great shooter. They were saying that he can make moves mid-air, but I didn't see that. Maybe you guys did see that. But these are the 90s shooting guards. Let's go to another 90s shooting guard that faced MJ, Hery Hawkins.
Knocked into the hands of Dawkins. Bulls can win one more game. Here's Hawkins from outside. 5-4. They will have accumulated the longest win. Shackelford underneath. Here's the dish to Johnny Dawkins. 2 for 2 for Johnny Dawkins from outside. The Sixers hang by Horace Grant, who has 6 points. Grant doing a good job off the board. Here's Hery Hawkins and Hawkins. It's 23-17 here in the first quarter. Ooh, Hery Hawkins gets rid of Michael Jordan and scores.
Great move by Hery Hawkins. He's continuing to score well this evening. He made a nice move to get by Jordan. Jordan with a little one-handed pump.
Stole a pass and threw a shot in one motion to beat the Sixers in a buzzer beater. There's the shot up and good by Hawkins.
Well, looking at Hery Hawkins highlights, it was no different than Jeff Hornacek or the other guys we saw before that. They were good shooters from the outside, catch and shoot guys, running around screens, not too much off the dribble action. At the end of the day, these were the guys that Jordan had to face, but I know you guys want to see more, so let's give you someone better.
Dumars looking for Bedford. Takes the shot from the corner. It's tied at 6. As Rodman on the left. Nice move. Kicks it to Dumars from the right. Dumars.
Well, that was definitely something, okay? And then
Moses up front with Battle and Doc Rivers in the backcourt for Atlanta. Dumars on the penetration to Joe.
but he said, look, I can't fear you. I just have to play and take the hits.
Dumars buries it from 19 feet. 10 minutes before this one was to get underway. Floor still dirty. Dumars on the drive, gets the bucket.
He's 7'5".
Pistons by 9, minute 22 and a half. Dumars into the paint. Bedford kicked it back over his head, intentionally or not, I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Joe Dumars' highlights. These are the highlights of these shooting guards that we're showing you. Now, you tell me if these guys have skill or not compared to today's NBA. And in reality, when you look at the guys to the right, a lot of the stuff that you see the guys in the 80s and 90s were doing, these guys do on a regular basis. To be quite frank with y'all, Malik Monk is more skilled than all these players we just showed.
Minnesota team, 42-17, 22-6 in this building. One of their home losses came from these Sacramento Kings as Malik Monk back to an 8-point game. Kings' largest lead was 14 in that first quarter. Monk, he had Mike Conley draped all on him, but he played him like a fiddle for the second straight game. Here's Malik.
That's a foul right there.
Edwards got a piece of him. Davion, though, is having himself a night. He's got 9 points. Shot clock is off. 5 on the clock. Monk throws it out. HB falling, firing, hitting. HB.
He's just great at attacking you after offensive rebounds, and that was a long bounce on that missed three.
Let's see if Malik can get going. Splash. Malik Monk.
That, you know, you're kind of bumping jaws a little bit. It's physical out there, but Malik is not the guy that you want to get into it with. There's tons of value in that.
Monk regathered himself. Oh, tough fall away. Uh-oh. Somebody's woke up the beast. Somebody's woke up the bear.
Not only is Malik Monk more skilled than all the guys we just showed prior to this, the defense that we're watching the teams play today is tougher defense than what we were just watching from the 80s and the 90s. I don't know where you guys get this idea that the 90s are just so much skilled. Let's watch Tyler Herro show you how much skilled these players are compared to the players in the 90s.
17 points, 14 of them came in a row. Tyler, left-hand dribble against Matthews. Knocks it down.
Beautiful control of his body there. Able to get Matthews on his right hip, put the brakes on, and was able to go right out to that mid-range jump and still be a threat on the offensive end, even though he's taking a pounding trying to guard bigger guys night in, night out.
Do you believe this man, Tyler Herro, with another triple?
I can't quite figure out where he's more comfortable yet, inside or maybe outside looking to shoot those jump shots. Got to see him play a little bit more. What a talent.
Max Strus gets his own miss back, finds Herro, a corner three. Kaboom! Feed that man the ball. Tyler Herro, 25 first half point. Here's Jim with a right-hand dribble into the paint. Now Max flipping it back to Herro. Here it comes. Kaboom! You almost expect them to go in now. 28 points for Herro. Shoots his pass effective, gets it back. Herro from deep. Kaboom!
Woo! Are you kidding me with that range?
So as you guys can see with your own eye test, Anthony Edwards wasn't wrong when he was talking about the skill of Michael Jordan's competitors. They're just not as good as today's NBA. Nothing from the 1900s is as good as today's NBA. You guys gotta let it go. So the next time a zesty Jeffrey try to come at you because you could appreciate today's NBA, let them know about GOAT James Kingdom.